You're watching Pulse for the 6th of September, and it's time for some World of Warcraft news. In this week's episode, we take a look at some Patch and Hotfix updates, the freshly announced Worgen Mounts coming in Patch 4.3, the latest Dev Watercooler or Coffee with the Devs post, the adventures of Crimnox and Sproodle, and more. Let's get started. The first and one of the smaller pieces of World of Warcraft news we're going to have a look at this week is the fact that patch 4.2.2 is now live. Now this patch actually only contains a couple of miscellaneous technical fixes that apparently couldn't be hotfixed in. But the good news that comes with this is that now that patch 4.2.2 is off the PTR, it's time for patch 4.3 to move onto it. So get ready, start counting the days, and keep checking back here soon for more. You can obviously see those full patch notes on your screen right now or in the links below. Next up, a couple of patch 4.2 hotfixes. These were actually released on the 29th of August. There's not very much going on here, just a couple of Firelands nerfs, a few class changes, and one Isle of Conquest fix. You can have a look at the full patch notes below if you're interested. Now, what is sadly probably our biggest news of the week, another patch 4.3 preview has surfaced. This one in the form of the Gilnean Reputation Mounts. Yes, these are not actually Worgen Mounts per se, they're for the Gilnean faction, so anyone that has Exalted with this faction can pick these mounts up for a small fee. If you're wondering why Blizzard added these mounts, they say that it's only because when players undertake a faction change to the Worgen race, there are no Gilnean faction mounts to exchange for their original faction mounts. So all the players that transferred to Worgen and were still looking for those mount achievements, they weren't happy. There's not much more to say about these. I'd like to know what you guys think about them. There's been quite a bit of what I'll call rage about their looks, because they do indeed look pretty plain. I do like them, but I will say that you can buy something pretty similar to these in Stormwind right now. There has also been some mention about the fact that they don't have reins, but it seems like their riders are still trying to hold onto the invisible reins and not around the horse's neck. People are quite finicky with stuff like this, as you would have realized. Anyway, some people were also saying that they would have preferred the Worgen Mount to look something like this. Now, I'm not sure where this image came from or who drew it, but it did pop up more than once while I was reading the comments on this post. So let me know what you think. Could Blizzard have done better here? It wouldn't really make sense if a Worgen was riding a wolf, would it? I don't know. Let me know below, I'm pretty interested in hearing what you guys have to say. In a couple of quick patch 4.3 extras, it looks like leveling from 71 to 80 will be shorter or quicker come patch 4.3. That does sound good to me, and I'm happy Blizzard are catering to those that are still looking to level characters when the patch comes. Then the guys over at MMO Champion have a patch 4.3 previews recap up. Now, this isn't just a recap of the official previews, it also covers the latest Dev Watercoolers, the impromptu Twitter Q&A that was recently held, and in my opinion, most interestingly, a bunch of developer interviews that you may well have missed. What makes the interviews more interesting is that Blizzard does talk a little bit about Mists of Pandaria, yes, the rumors that were going around a while back, and WoW's subscription decline. They say that it does make sense, it's something they were expecting, and that World of Warcraft has yet to hit its stride. So have a look at that below, and happy browsing. Next up and last in our big news, the latest Dev Watercooler or Coffee with the Devs post, this one titled Bloody Mitigation. As you could have probably have told by now, this one's about tanking, and more specifically Death Knight tanking. So Ghostcrawler, who as you probably already know is the lead systems designer for World of Warcraft, posted his thoughts about their upcoming tanking overhaul. He delves pretty deeply into some active mitigation models for tanks, but he says that none of them are perfect, nor are they ready to announce which ones they're going to try first. But he hopes that the ideas can get some discussions going, and I assume that their team will probably be reading the most constructive feedback. But he hopes that the ideas can get some discussion going, and I assume that the team will be going over the feedback to see if any of it is actually constructive. So all of this basically ties into what Ghostcrawler was saying in his previous Dev Watercooler post about how he wants to make tanking more interesting. He then finishes the blog off by explaining the Death Knight tanking model more in-depthly and going over his plans for the class and its role in patch 4.3. So we're going to see a lot of major changes to tanking, and obviously all the classes come patch 4.3. All the tanks out there ready for this? I'm not sure. I actually honestly don't think anyone needs to be ready for this, because on the whole it does sound like tanking is going to get a lot easier and, I suppose, as I always say, more fun come patch 4.3. That's not a bad thing, I just hope they don't dumb it down too much. So you can have a look at this latest Dev Watercooler post, Bloody Mitigation, below, and let me know what you think about all the tanking changes on the horizon. Next up, just before heading into the smalls, a quick mention. Jesse from over at OMFG Kata and WoW Crendor have started up a new series. This is The Adventures of Crimnox and Sproodle. Episode 1, Making a Name for Ourselves, was actually uploaded last week, and we've been told that episode 2 would in fact be out today as well. So, what are the adventures of Crimnox and Sproodle? Well, this is a new RP series that the two of them started up, and it's absolutely hilarious. An epic intro? Check. Silly voices? Check. Ridiculous ideas? Check. Totally over the top shenanigans? Sort of being robbed by a wolfman? Then trying to explain to the citizens of Stormwind why they should know who Crimnox is? Check, check, and check. I can't really successfully put into words how funny this was. You should definitely check it out if you're at all interested in that kind of thing. I personally can't wait for the next episode. So head on over to OMFG Kata, have a look at it, and enjoy. Now, with that done, let's head on over to the World of Warcraft Smalls. So in the Smalls this week, over at the official site, you can check out an art gallery update. You could win a trip to BlizzCon from the World of Warcraft Visa card. The World of Warcraft mobile armory for the iPhone has been updated, and there are a few new features. You can check out Intel's Hunt to Win for BlizzCon 2011 tickets, and have a look at the SteelSeries Dual Anniversary celebration. Then the guys over at Wowhead have an interview up with the NFL player Chris Warcraft Kluwer of the Minnesota Vikings. That's pretty interesting. Yes, there are famous people out there that play World of Warcraft too. You can have a look at NPC fashion, dress like your favorite character. Then right here on YouTube, How to Win at Fishing by WoW Crendor. This was pretty funny, well worth having a look at. Then a World of Warcraft Thunder Fury freehand drawing, and it seems like World of Warcraft Wolfheart is coming to audiobooks soon. Then lastly, someone a lot of you might know, Michelle Morrow, has participated in the Race to World First documentary. You can check her piece out below too. Before finishing off here, I will tell you that there were a few blue posts to have a look at as well. They weren't super interesting, so I didn't think to feature them. You can find them linked below if you're keen. Sadly, that's all I have for you in the World of Warcraft news. As usual, you can like the video, favorite it, share it with your friends, and subscribe. Most importantly though, happy patch 4.3 on the PTRs soon? Hopefully.